Welcome to another Sci-Fi Journal presented by the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. This show is for November 2023. I'm Marc Morisseau. Also hosting the show today are, hey, look at that, Calvin Watts III.
Hello.
James Hinsey. Arr. And behind the camera we have Adam Tuckman, and our good friend Diane is directing today. Thank you very much, Diane. All right, let's start off. We're going to do something different for this episode. We're going to combine popcorn previews and game over. So Calvin, do some explanations, please.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So normally we would do popcorn previews and it would go into game over, and we're actually going to do game over very briefly because there is something that got done recently that I want to go into more in depth with hopefully Ian Kingston in the next episode. But the Microsoft Activision deal has finally been approved. It was being blocked. There was an antitrust suit that was brought on by the Federal Trade Commission, which they lost, meaning the FTC lost. And it was being blocked in England because the rights place over there that handles the video game laws had a really big concern about cloud gaming. Now, cloud gaming meaning not if you have like your own infrastructure, you'll say like if you had like an Apple or an iPod or an iPad that you were playing games on and you could download games directly to that. That's kind of a closed ecosystem. But the cloud gaming they're talking about is being able to stream a game and put it onto like any device. So say like onto an Xbox 360 game onto your iPhone. So that type of cloud gaming. So those rights got purchased and sold off to Ubisoft. That's going to handle all the Activision Blizzard rights for cloud gaming. It was just in the UK, but they're basically going to do it worldwide because it makes no sense to do it for one and not do it for the other. There's going to be a lot more that we're going to talk about this in detail. The one thing I can tell you, they just announced right away, there's not going to be any Activision games coming onto Xbox Game Pass until probably early next year. And there's no more exclusivity stuff. So any extra maps or something you would get from like the Call of Duty stuff, that sort of thing, that's all gone. But more in depth, that will be coming to that hopefully next episode. But breaking this past week, and this is where it goes into popcorn previews and the game over stuff, a lot of people, for whatever reason, still like the fact that I talk about home video and home movies and streaming. We cover all that stuff. So all that, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. But the biggest news is that Best Buy has announced, it was broke by Bill Hunt, who runs Digital Bits, where I get most of my information from, that they're getting out of physical media starting early next year, so first quarter of 2024. They've been scaling back for a while, so it has Target and even Walmart to a lesser extent too, but they just said that it's not worth it for them to keep carrying that stuff. And it is really big news, but there have been people over the web crying like, oh, now the sky is falling, it's the end of physical media as they know it, and I don't think that's it at all, and I will explain. But first off, what do you guys think about the Best Buy news? And then I'm going to explain why it's not the big deal. Well, it is a big deal, but it's not as big of a deal as you think.
Yeah, because I think Walmart is still going to carry, and people do enjoy. I think people think Walmart's got a great selection usually for physical media, and there's other stores too. Plus, then there's I think the secondhand market also is also out there. If you go into certain shops, they'll have all kinds of used stuff you can rewatch. And you can order it online. I know that's a primary source also. And I've told people like, oh, they don't have any streaming services or anything. I said, well, look for the Blu-rays and stuff for like the Star Wars series and stuff, because that'll still come out, I'm sure.
And there are still a lot of folks, like older folks, who get a lot of their physical media DVDs from Blu-rays. Oh, don't forget Blu-rays. Don't forget 4K from the library.
Yep.
They rent that out. So that's still a big, very popular choice for a lot of folks.
And library editions are not priced for retail. There's a library price too, which is much higher because they don't sell as many overall. But libraries do carry a lot.
Yeah, and like I usually judge when I go to the theater to see a movie, I usually judge how good it is by whether or not I would buy the Blu-ray, and if it is, I buy the Blu-ray because I like to have it in my collection. I know that our RISFIC Christmas parties are going to be very interesting because now Blu-rays and DVDs are going to be a hot commodity.
Also, as a film buff and stuff, I love all the extras and all the commentary. So I learn a lot about filmmaking and things like that from watching those.
And there's still a lot of, like you were talking about classics, there's still a lot of classic television, even going back to the black and white days, they're not streaming that stuff. So if you want it, you got to pick it up on a physical media.
So let's tackle the streaming stuff first. Netflix just announced after doing their password crackdown thing, and it actually worked to their advantage. They just raised prices again.
Yeah.
So for their most popular plan, which is their ultra streaming plan, they're going up by like $3, and there's another one. The ad ones though are staying put.
Right.
What a surprise!
Oh, and they dropped the DVDs.
And the
Delivery
DVDs,
too.
the
Yeah.
DVDs were
DVD.com
dropped. But
was
there's
there.
I forget, and I should have had this out, but I'll look it up. There's a company out there that is still doing that service. It's like an independent company, and they have like a huge collection of stuff, and it's not anywhere near as cheap as Netflix, because they have like a lot of like indie titles and titles you can't find anywhere else that you can go and you can rent out.
That's how my daughter and I watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because when they still had the DVD service, we'd rent the seasons. She would watch it first, and then I would watch it.
And I got those too through Netflix, so I could listen to the commentary tracks. Yeah.
But if you tackle the streaming stuff, you still have a lot of streaming services that are
was
out
your
there.
phone.
That was your phone. You still have a lot of streaming services out there: Netflix, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime, Peacock.
Plus all the free stuff like Tubi and Pluto
so
and all that other
you
stuff.
have a bunch of stuff, but you always have stuff coming in and coming out. A lot of these big giant corporate companies are realizing that you can't keep throwing money at it and keep losing money. So I think they just said Max is now getting ready or is turning a profit. A small profit, but a profit nonetheless.
And that's part of it is they dumped a bunch of their DC stuff onto Amazon because Vaslav is, the new CEO from Discovery guy. He's not really into.
Right. So there's now where you're back to having stuff like all over the place and having to search for the stuff that you want to see, and there's still a ton of stuff that's out there. Like you can't find Battlestar Galactica now on anything. It's not in any free streaming service, the original one or the reimagined one. Now it'll probably come back at some point, but the point is you don't have that control. The studios have that control.
Sci-Fi doesn't publish it anymore? Sci-Fi's not airing Battlestar? Because they were.
They might be airing it like over the air, but getting it online and getting it to stream.
No. Okay.
Plus, there's still a majority of places in the country, and I'm just talking the U.S., never mind the world, that don't have high-speed internet. No high-speed internet, no streaming services. Cable can only do so much.
Right.
And you're going to still see, as time goes on, you're starting to see it now, more consolidation with. There's no way all of these streaming services are going to be able to survive. And you're going to end up seeing some merge, some do this, some do that. So that's part of it. Amazon by far is. I mean, they started out as a music, movies, and books website. I mean, Amazon is the elephant in the room. They do a huge business when it comes to movies and DVDs and stuff. That's not going anywhere. And not only that, there's a ton of stuff that's coming out, and there's still other people putting out stuff. You talked about like the extra stuff. There's Criterion, which is every month puts out like a slate of mostly independent films, but all other collector's editions, all sorts of stuff. One of the things that's out now that you can get is the Princess Bride collector's edition in 4K with a bunch of extras. There's Arrow Video, which each month has a selection of stuff, and they really go into detail with a lot of their stuff there. There's special limited collector's editions with all sorts of goodies and in-depth commentaries and you name it. And there's a ton of stuff. And plus there are studios that are still supporting this stuff. Warner Brothers still has a really good, robust collection of stuff that they're putting out. So is Paramount. Disney. Disney, which was all like, well, we're all done. One of the things that they did, if you guys don't know, is WandaVision, Loki season 1,
Yep.
and the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian are going to be available. Actually, Loki's available now, but the other 2 will be available in the upcoming months. And I have a ton of stuff to go through, which we'll go through in a minute, that are going to be out. And those are all going to be in steelbook format, because one of the things people were talking about, Best Buy was basically the place where if they had different like collector's editions, Best Buy was like the place for steelbooks.
You kind of wonder, though, if Best Buy is kind of shooting themselves in the foot, because I remember past Christmas seasons, you'd get that flyer, and one of the biggest sections was all the Blu-ray, DVDs, things that you could pick up for Christmas, and they had, like you mentioned, special editions and all this stuff. So if they're not going to be selling those anymore, what else are they going to?
Well, a lot of people online have basically said, well, I don't have a reason to go to Best Buy anymore. I mean, that was really like their reason. I don't know if I'd go that far, but if nothing else, if you want to talk about technology and all that other stuff, so when we came to the 80s, cassettes were like a really big thing, and then they introduced the compact disc. Remember the compact disc? Mm-hmm. And for years, vinyl was the leading format when it came to music. Vinyl was dead. Vinyl took a nosedive. Nobody was buying records anymore. You couldn't give them away. But what's happened over like the past 6 or 7 years? It's found a new generation of people who are interested in it. Because the audio sounds different, and it's had a boom. You can go now to almost any store, whether it's Target, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Best Buy, and you can find more vinyl records than you can CDs. In a way that's crazy.
I went into Walmart the other day, and just for curiosity, looked at the vinyl. They had a Fleetwood Mac Rumors album that I bought when it first came out in the 70s. I think I bought it for like $6. They wanted like $25, $35 for that same album.
All the new stuff comes out with like a vinyl release, also limited usually. Also, they can do all kinds of colors now with the vinyl. It's not just a black.
Oh yeah. So you can get a white
Vinyl,
album.
wax vinyl. But now it's multicolored and stuff like that. So they can really make it nice and decorative.
Back in the day, if you had a colored record, it was usually a little 33, because it was like kids' songs or nursery rhymes or something. But now, they can do anything with it.
Stuff in the cereal box.
Where you buy this stuff,
I have those too.
So where you buy this stuff might change, but it's still going to be around at least for a while now. I don't think there's going to be another format bigger than 4K, just because there's really no point. But there's still a ton of stuff that's out there. There's a market for it, and it's going to be there. So which is going to lead me into, and there's a lot of information here because it's been a while, stuff that's already out now.
Well, I'm not going anywhere.
You guys can just jump in. So available right now are such things as the latest Mission Impossible movie, Dead Reckoning. You can get that in theaters. Warner Brothers all year long has been celebrating their 100th anniversary, and so they've had a lot of special editions come out, including Enter the Dragon, even newer stuff they didn't include in there. So The Flash is now available on 4K. Other things available, The Little Mermaid live action is out there.
Oh yeah, but do you really want that?
Somebody does. I wasn't.
Did you see it?
Honestly,
no, I did not see it yet.
I have no interest in seeing it. However, there might be viewers that do. So that is why it's there, because it's a news thing.
Because it's a news thing.
Ghostbusters 1 and 2 in a steelbook edition.
The old ones with
Yes, the old one.
All right.
Pixar's Elemental, which is the latest Pixar movie. Something that was surprising, and this is where it seems like Disney has changed their stance a little bit when it comes to releasing stuff. Prey, which was a Hulu exclusive.
I saw
the
that.
The Predator prequel, sequel, whatever you want to call it.
Did you
which
see
is an
it?
excellent. Yes, I did.
What did you think?
Awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. Why do you think I own the thing?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So absolutely, like really, really cool.
That was a nice surprise. Yeah.
Universal is another one that cares about their library. They just released 2 box sets of their classic monster stuff. So there's their initial classic monsters collection in 4K remastered. That one includes Dracula, Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, and the Wolfman. And then they have one, Icons of Horror, and that one includes The Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, Phantom of the Opera, and The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, that's cool.
Going on, I mean, there's just so much stuff. Megan, the horror movie.
Yeah.
We're in October as we're speaking.
Is that the one about the doll?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Rosemary's Baby for like its anniversary.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Blob from 1988,
That's-
which is a
yeah.
cult classic
Oh,
movie.
that's crazy. That was a crazy one.
Godzilla, the 25th anniversary of the 1988 Godzilla movie. That's out.
Wait a minute. Is that the one with Matthew Broderick?
Yes, that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, but some people don't even consider that a Godzilla movie.
I know, but it's called
It's a
Godzilla.
giant
What do you
That's
want?
true. Yeah.
The
Is it
Titans.
a giant lizard?
It's an iguana.
It's an iguana. Okay.
Titans, the final season.
Without the tongue. Yeah.
Titans, the final
Yeah.
season. So
Oh,
there you
yeah.
have season 4. Stephen King's Cujo.
Okay.
What else do
Oh,
we have?
Dee Wallace. Oh, I had a crush on her.
you gotta
interviewed
interview her,
I
yeah.
interviewed her years ago at the convention center. Oh my goodness, I was starstruck.
So we,
Yeah.
So we mentioned the Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel stuff. So Loki is out there now, and I actually missed the boat on that, so I can't get that. The Exorcist, 50 years since The Exorcist
Yeah.
came out.
Oh,
So there's a
wow.
special edition there.
Linda Blair and I are the same age. Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton version.
Okay.
Barbie, which is like the biggest movie of the year
Still
somehow.
haven't seen it.
But yeah, but that's up there. Picard. So
All right.
season 3, and plus they have a box set of all 3 seasons.
That's worth collecting.
That's available
Especially the
now.
last season. The second one,
Yep.
but the third one, good, nice.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
That was fun.
That's out there.
That was a lot of fun.
Walking Dead, Dead City. That's out there.
Dead City, which one is that?
It's the one with
Maggie and
Negan in New
going.
York, right?
Oh, okay. All right, that's going on right now.
We mentioned briefly A Princess Bride. Even Disney, not only are they doing stuff to like release, but they still have the Disney Movie Club, and they released, this is exclusive to the Disney Movie Club, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's a 4K Ultimate Collector's Edition with all sorts of like
the original
extras and stuff.
1930s version.
Yes, the
Okay.
original 1930s version. We're not going to talk about the other version.
I was going to say, aren't they doing a live action remake that's got all sorts of controversy?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
we'll stay
I'm not
clear on
touching.
that
And when that comes close, you want to touch that, that's fine.
Yeah, fine.
So that's all that stuff. And now you bring James Cameron into the effect. Now we have talked for years about The Abyss coming out in 4K, and now Titanic has finally been remastered, and that hasn't like an actual street date. But he was doing a Q&A recently, and he talked about The Abyss is done. It's coming out along
nice.
with True Lies, and not
Nice.
just that, Aliens as well.
Oh,
Which would be
sweet.
like really
Oh,
awesome
yeah.
at some point
Okay.
in the future. So that's all stuff that's available now, and this is stuff that's going to be coming out, which is, again, there's some really cool stuff here and some stuff you guys are going to go like, whoa. So
It's an hour show.
I know. We're another 3 minutes. So stuff on for November include Fargo in 4K,
Okay.
Trading Places in 4K,
Nice.
the Scrooge Christmas thing in 4K.
Which one?
The Bill Murray one.
Bill Murray, okay.
Yep. Later on in the month, we talked briefly about WandaVision. The Sandman Season 1 is getting a 4K release
Nice.
from the Netflix thing. The Monster Squad.
Oh, that was a fun
yeah.
movie.
The Monster Squad cult classic.
Wolfman has nards.
Yeah. Also, and if you think this is bad, December's even worse. The Fugitive, the Harrison Ford version is
Okay.
coming out
Yep.
in November. Expendables, somebody actually went to go see Expendables 4. I don't know why,
With
but
Stallone?
yep.
They put out, how many of those have there been?
There's 4. So the newest
Okay.
one is being released, also a box set of all 4
Yeah.
movies if you're interested.
Nice.
Oppenheimer, the latest
Yeah.
Christopher
I
Nolan
haven't
movie.
seen it. Okay.
JFK, the Kevin Costner movie. Farscape, the complete series.
Oh my.
Nice.
How many seasons did that run for?
Hope
Do you
that
remember?
includes Peacekeepers.
I don't know,
The
like,
Peacekeeper
like
one?
5 or 6,
the
the
last
I
one.
believe.
Who's streaming that right now? Because I know you can watch it anytime.
I don't know.
Somebody's streaming Farscape.
You think?
Yeah, it's
You
either
hope?
it's either Tubi or Freevee.
Something
But
like
yeah.
that, yeah.
So, and then December gets really crazy.
Oh my goodness.
December has Titanic in both in 4K
Mm-hmm.
completely, and they have like a collector's edition that right now is up at Amazon for a lot of money. It'll
I'm
probably
sorry.
go down in price.
There was
but
more than enough room on that plank. There was.
I agree with you, but you know, anyways, The Color Purple's getting a release from Warner Brothers. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Young Guns, the 1988 cult classic. Stand By Me
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
is another one. Babylon 5, the complete series.
All right.
Now, this has been available before on DVD, but earlier, it was earlier this year or late last year, they came out with a remastered version they had put onto HBO Max, which is now Max. Well, they've taken that remastered version, and that's going to be available, the complete series, so upgraded, so it'll look a lot better, that sort of stuff.
The only actual parts they could remaster was the film footage that they shot of the actors. All the special effects, they just sort of upscaled it.
Yeah.
And it's still in 4:3
It's
somewhat.
still in 4:3 because that's the
certain
original
parts of it,
format.
yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
it's never going to look any better than what it looks like now unless you
Right.
completely redo it.
Yeah.
And a couple of other Clue from 1985.
Yeah, all right.
And
All
something
three endings, yeah.
and something that and this is where I end. I know it's not really technically a sci-fi thing as some of these are, but we've talked about The Warriors before.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The Warriors is a really, really awesome
You know,
action adventure cult film from
I've only seen
1979.
bits and pieces
Oh.
of that movie.
It's the whole thing is worth watching.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So back when Blu-ray started becoming a thing, they did an updated version. Walter Hill did, and so it's basically a director's cut, but they added like comic book elements into it. So it looks like you're watching like a comic book movie. Some people liked it. Some people really didn't like it.
The scenes like flip the page.
Yeah, or you had
yeah.
like had these crazy edits and whatnot.
Okay.
So Arrow Video's doing like an ultimate like version, and it's gonna have all sorts of different stuff, and it has both the theatrical cut, which people love, and that updated version, both in 4K.
Nice.
And I pre-ordered. That's my Christmas gift.
Good.
So yeah. So
And you deserve it, Albert.
long story short, physical media is not going anywhere, and I will bring you information to it as long as is possible.
Sounds good.
All right, so
That's a lot of good stuff, Calvin.
that
Thank
was a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm sorry it took too long, but it is what it
No.
is. So we're going to go into Tube News now with Marc Morisseau, because I'm sure he has a lot to talk about.
Well, I got a few things. Yeah, what do we got? We'll put on my spectacles. Okay. Okay, Netflix, you talked about this before, will be debuting the first season of Star Trek Prodigy later this year, which would include all 20 episodes that were removed from Paramount Plus in June.
Yeah.
Work on the second season is still underway, and Netflix has announced they plan to release season 2 in 2024.
Excellent. Yeah, I did mention that at the club meeting last week.
Right, yeah. Now, is Prodigy still going to be considered canon in Star Trek, even though it's not on Paramount Plus anymore?
Well, I don't know if it counts as being canon at all because it's animated.
But it's got Janeway.
But,
well, wait a
yeah.
minute, the animated series is canon,
Yes,
The
that's
original
true.
one.
Yes, that's true.
and so is Lower Decks.
And I guess so. Well, I guess it's all canon.
There we go.
nowadays. I love it.
You think so?
I love it.
Yeah, Adam says yes.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And I should have mentioned that that's also going to be the second half of the first season.
Right.
The episodes that haven't been released, that's also going to be available.
Oh, that's
on
even
physical
better.
media.
Well, it was not on like Nickelodeon, but that second half of that first season was out on Paramount Plus.
Right.
Right, but it wasn't. They weren't. Once they took it off before the Netflix deal came in,
Yeah.
there was no way to watch those other things. So they said that they were going to release it on physical media. So
Oh,
they
good,
are
yeah.
releasing
Oh,
it.
good.
on physical
Okay.
media.
Yeah, because I watched it on Paramount Plus.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Surreal Estate has started season 2 on Sci-Fi. If you enjoy that show. Beacon 23 is a new series premiering November 12th, starring Lena Headey from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And Stephen James. It's about a man in the 23rd century living on a space station that serves as a remote lighthouse to help passing ships, and is on the new MGM Plus network. Yet another streaming service for you to buy. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's see. Orphan Black Echoes is a spin-off starring Kristen Ritter from Jessica Jones as Lucy, who is described as a completely unique copy of the original. And that's going to air on AMC, BBC America, and AMC Plus in 2024. Did you watch Orphan Black?
I did not.
Me
Oh
neither.
my God.
It's on my never-ending list of stuff to watch.
Tatiana Maslany, one of the best actresses around. She does an awesome job with that because she had like 9 different personalities that she had to handle. Great stuff.
Great on She-Hulk also.
Yes, he did good. Even though that got kind of panned, I liked it. It was fun.
She-Hulk was okay.
It was good. All right, Doctor Who. We have to talk about Doctor Who because it's November.
Yep.
And it returns this month to start the 60th anniversary of the show, starting with 3 specials: The Star Beast, Wild Blue Yonder, and The Giggle, starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate, among other returning stars. November 11th, 18th, and 25th are rumored to be the air dates on BBC America and Disney Plus,
Nice.
which is good. I love Doctor Who. That's one of my best shows. Because I started watching that in the 80s when I was still in college, and Tom Baker was the first one that they showed.
Yes.
Oh, good stuff. All right, what else? Gargoyles live action show based on the animated series is in early development at Disney Plus.
Cool.
Director Gary Dauberman will executive produce, write and serve as a showrunner, and James Wan, Aquaman, will also executive produce, and the show will be made under his Atomic Monster banner. So that's pretty neat if you enjoy Gargoyles. That series ran from 94 to 97,
Yes.
and then there was a comic book in the 2000s that they did as well, which is nice. And then last but not least, I don't know if you've heard about this, James, but Warner Brothers is working on a live action Harry Potter TV show.
Yeah. Rumors still.
There's rumors going around that
Rumors still.
what they want to do is they want to redo all the books as a live action TV show, and 1 book per season. So 7 seasons of this thing.
Yeah.
It's in development.
It's in,
It's in
It's in
development.
development. So, do you think it's going to happen?
No.
No.
But
Why? Interesting.
I don't
Why?
know.
Why?
I just think it's too. Maybe in 10 years, but I think it's with the way the Fantastic Beasts movies went.
Right.
I don't think they're going to get to numbers 4 and 5 at all.
Okay.
It's done. But you did, mentioning what was the last thing you were talking about? The
Last thing I talk about Gargoyles.
Oh, Gargoyles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after I got Disney Plus, I watched that.
Okay.
And it was awesome. So,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward more to Gargoyles, than I
Gargoyles
am
than Harry Potter. And this coming from a Harry
Potterhead.
Potter's
Yeah.
aficionado, okay, which is
Yeah.
good. All right, so that's it for Toob News for this month. Let's move on to Anime Daisuki with James Hinsey. Ready? Go, James, go. Don't look too enthused. Let's go. What do you got for us this month?
So you
Did you
make
just
these-
really do a pirate
He
R?
did a
Yes, I
pirate.
did. Look what I mean. I'm dressed
What
as
did
a
Maddie say to me?
pirate.
Maddie said to me the other day,
Well,
was talk like
it
a
is-
pirate
it
day.
is October.
Talk like
yeah,
a pirate
but,
day.
Yeah, but that was September. And
I said, R, the pirate's favorite letter, and she said, no, it be the C.
then be the C.
Nice job, Madison. Okay.
Awesome.
We are so geeky.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
we
know.
are. Diane's in the back going, what the heck's going on with these kids?
Yeah. But for speaking of pirates,
Pirate, yeah,
#1 TV series in the world
yeah,
on Netflix.
yeah.
One Piece.
I liked it.
One Piece.
That was a lot of fun.
Yep. 86 countries. #1 in 86 countries for the first week, and into the second week, and over like 90 some countries in the top 10 for this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it basically blew the doors off of Stranger Things and that new spy show that was based on a book about the Night Room or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Which
Yep.
was both, I love both of those.
There were a
But-
lot of people cosplaying One Piece at Dragon Con.
Were there? I
Yeah.
saw Rally
And we'll-
Comic-Con is going to have the same
Yeah.
thing, I imagine.
So and the actors that they had were great. Godoy as Monkey D. Luffy, and the story had a lot of heart in it. They did change up with the approval of the creator who was involved with it. Change the story a bit. He wasn't sure about the acting and the actors, but after watching it, he thought the kid did a great job. So approximately at least 40 million people have viewed it in that first couple of weeks. And now there will be a 50-foot balloon in the Macy's Day Parade, the
Oh, that's
Thanksgiving
cool.
Day Parade
So
Wow.
Monkey Luffy is getting
Right.
a balloon. Okay.
in November. So look for that. And then it's been renewed after 2 weeks. It was renewed for its second
Yep,
season, so
second
they'll be
season.
continuing on. This is, I think it could be a show that could go hundreds of episodes, not maybe the whole over 1,000 as it is with the anime, which is only like a 25-minute anime series, right? Minus commercials. So, but One Piece is a hit,
Nice.
and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen the animated, so
Yeah.
I'm coming into it with just knowing about the Netflix series.
I only
Yeah.
seen the first couple of episodes of the animated because I only want to start at the beginning, and I started it a couple years ago. And in Japan, Japan's Netflix has, or even here, you can watch it in the anime voices from Japan. It's the same actors in Japan doing the dub for the Japanese dub.
Oh, I
Oh, that's
understand.
cool.
So
That's
yeah,
neat.
so you can watch the
All
live
right.
action with the Japanese actors'
Yep.
voices. Let's see. Oh, and then recently on Netflix, Castlevania Nocturne.
Okay.
It's getting a second season. Story of Richter Belmont and Maria Renard, who are involved kind of in the French Revolution, but they're up against vampires. So
That's not good.
Yep, and there's this vampire messiah who somehow is embodying Sekhmet, or Egyptian god. And there's 8 episodes in the series so far. So that can go a long way too. It was really good. And then Cartoon Network saying they're not going to do any more Fooly Cooly shows. They did like 4 different spin-offs from the original series that they produced. The latest ones were Fooly Cooly Grunge and Fooly Cooly Shoegaze. And they did very well, but they're not going to do any more. Coming up in December, and I just didn't know about this, but I just caught it. Yu Yu Hakusho is an anime that is getting a live-action show premiering December 14th. And it's a Japanese-produced live-action. So it may not have the appeal maybe to an American audience so much because it's going to be a Japanese production. It'll have an English dub, of course, on Netflix. But
Yep.
it's when they produce an American-made version of an anime, it tends to get a little more notice because, like, okay, are they going to screw it up or not, kind of thing.
all right.
And here it's Japanese, so if people don't take to it, that's okay. Yusuke Urameshi is a teen delinquent who dies in an accident saving a child, and he winds up in the underworld, and they give him a chance to go back, but he has to be like a spirit detective who fights demons and stuff. So
Oh, sounds like DC's The Spectre a little bit.
in some ways, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that coming to Netflix on December 14th worldwide. Let's see. Recently they had, back in June, Skull Island on Netflix.
Yes.
Right?
Is it still around? I think
It's
so.
still on there, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Some of these people get shipwrecked on Skull Island, and they got to deal with the monsters that are there, King Kong, and stuff
Giant
like that.
bananas.
Which was kind of really good to see,
Which is
what
great
other
for
kinds of
Sundays.
creatures there were, and dealing with trying to survive.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Actually, I haven't watched it yet,
Okay.
but
Well, that's so. I'll watch it. You watch it, and then we
Yeah.
can talk. Okay.
yeah. But also coming out from the monster verse, Godzilla. No, it's the Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It's a
Yes.
Apple TV Plus series,
Yep.
and it kind of about this family who they were there when Godzilla comes to San Francisco in the first Godzilla film that Universal
Yep.
produced. So, or Legendary Pictures had. And now it delves into their family being involved with Monarch over the 3 generations. So you'll see John Goodman in there, going back to Skull Island and
Yep.
things like that, and Monarch over the years.
Yeah, that's the one that stars Kurt Russell and his
Yeah.
son Wyatt Russell,
Oh,
playing, I
wow.
believe, the same character in different generations.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And so yeah, it'll be 2-episode premiere November 17th, and then weekly after that, it's a total of 10 episodes
Nice.
so far. But also, because Godzilla is really
But wait, there's
making a
more.
return, Godzilla -1,
Ah,
December 1st in the U.S., being distributed by Toho International. It is in some way a remake of the original or reboot or something, but it looks fantastic.
we have to go see that as a RISFIC movie
Yes.
trip.
Yeah.
We do.
Right.
Merry
and,
Christmas. Let's go see
And
people
if you want to
stomp
catch
on
it like big screen IMAX,
Yeah.
there may be a local screening on 11/29. I don't know if we're getting one here, but
okay.
it'll be a special screening on November 29th in IMAX.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the
get-
previews have only
Yeah.
been really short, 15 or 16 or like minute preview
Need seconds.
Yeah.
spots. Yeah, second. That's what I meant. Thank you.
short ones.
Short
yeah.
ones, but they're
But no, it looks great.
oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. And I almost tried to compare it to the new Legendary one pictures, but and there's some similarities, but then there's not. I mean, there's
Oh,
and-
Godzilla
yeah,
looks
there's certain
awesome.
details. You can so much detail now you
Yeah.
can see in this compared to the old ones. Yep. And so
No more guys in a rubber suit.
yeah, so yeah, it's the biggest star in the world really, and it's coming back with maybe a whole new series of films.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, yep, and that's it I have for Anime Daisuki for this month.
All right. So now let's move on to, this is where the cameraman gets put to work. Now we're going to do toys, props, and other.
Stuff.
Oh, hey, let's start with this.
Oh, there we go.
So, I have this teaching aid that I've used to teach astronomy.
Right.
I can use this as an example of a star and a planet, or a planet and a moon,
Or it's a giant
Right.
wand.
Or it's a
And-
giant wand.
right?
Or it's a big Q-tip.
Yep. Or, like, we just recently had the annular eclipse, right? If you put this, like, right here. and
Oh,
you're
that's
like,
pretty
Oh,
smart.
look at that.
Right?
Yeah.
You've been
Where-
eclipsed.
Where's my
You've been
glasses?
Ring of fire.
Oh, right, now I'm in the
Yeah.
mood for coffee and milk. Okay. All right.
Wait, an eclipse is not a coffee drink.
That's true.
Okay, not at least in astronomy.
Right.
So yeah, so that's I've been taught astronomy at a couple convention things.
Nice job. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to have our cameraman, our wonderful cameraman, Adam Tuckman, point at things, and we're going to talk about them. Go, Galvin.
Okay, so obviously our PEG award, which they don't do anymore, which
They
is
don't,
very,
haven't done it
very
in
sad,
years.
but we are very proud of the fact that we did earn and win a PEG award, so we will probably display that for as long as we have this show.
Yes.
On one side, we have the 4K limited edition of Kevin Costner's cult classic Waterworld. At the time it came out, one of the most expensive movie in history. I absolutely love it. I love disaster movies. I don't care. It is as cheesy as all get out.
Yep.
That's from Arrow Films or Arrow Video. A really, really great thing. On the other side is X-Men 97 is going to be coming out soon. The
Yes.
animated continuation of the X-Men animated series of the 90s.
All right.
That is an exclusive from Funko Direct. I had to order it off of the Funko store on
Really?
eBay. So that's Cyclops, one of my favorite characters of all time.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool.
All right. So here on the right, Night of the Living Dead. It's the script written by George Romero and John Russo, and autographed by both George Romero and John Russo. That's the classic George, that started the whole zombie genre of films. Night of the Living Dead, the novelization, also here in the middle by John Russo. And on the left, also by John Russo, is the film book, the complete Night of the Living Dead film book. So it's sort of like the making of, with lots of behind the scenes information there about the film. And, if you're all into zombies, and this is really probably the ultimate classic thing you can try. And this is thanks to Adam for bringing that.
Because as we're a couple of weeks away from Halloween, so we brought in some spooky stuff. All right, on the right we have LOLA 59, otherwise known as Lola 59, that little robot. That is a proper toy from the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
That was young Princess Leia's little droid that followed her around all over the place. And I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen the series, but it has an important role to play in that TV show. That was a lot of fun. We're not going to activate it, but it's one of those things, if you touch it, it lights up and it beeps and boops, and as long as you speak to it, it interacts with you, and then after a few minutes, minutes, if it doesn't hear anything, it automatically shuts down. So that's pretty cool. And Calvin's got a cool toy.
So on the other side is a DC Collectors Universe figure. This was, if I remember correctly, a Target exclusive. So it's Batman from his Year 2 miniseries, which was actually set in between Detective Comics. This is the one that Todd McFarlane drew, and he had some really iconic pictures and stuff in there. One of them, which is what the figure is based on, is he's standing in a graveyard, and his cape is just billowing like that. Now, I decided to keep it in a box, but there is an actual figure in there, and it has a different cape, so you can have him look normalized if you wanted to. But that's just an iconic scene, and I just love it, so that's why I kept it as is. And continuing with the DC series, McFarlane Toys decided to come out with the Superpower stuff. You remember the Superpowers Kenner collection from like 84 to like 86. Well, he revived it like last year, and he's been steadily coming out with figures. So being a Batman fan, obviously I got the Batman figure. And Nightwing actually got his own figure. In fact, there's a second figure that's going to be available in stores as we speak, which is going back to kind of like the disco days when he was going to get ready to become Batman, like the first time after the whole Bane breaking his back sequence.
I think it's kind of funny too, because now when you go to conventions, you can find either the old classic ones in a display case that they sell for lots of money, or you can find the others like just thrown in a plastic bin, and you got to fish through it. You can get a couple of them for $1 or something. But it's nice that they reissued those. You keep them in the card, and who knows?
Yeah. Now, it's been a while since we've been in the studio, so I haven't had the chance to show some of my home media pickups that I've gotten like over the past year. So on one side, and we remember we talked about this during a previous episode, that they had the return of Swamp Thing coming out in 4K.
Right.
And it was like a collector's edition, and it made no sense that was coming out, because that was just like universally panned, and they didn't have the original one coming out. Well, not like a month after that, they announced the original one coming out in like a collector's edition. So that's what it is. It's a beautiful,
with Adrienne Barbeau.
Awesome, with Adrienne
Barbeau.
Barbeau. Wes Craven directed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she
Great.
appeared in the series too that DC had.
That's right,
Yep.
she did. Yep.
Great movie. And next out, another great movie, a 4K collector's edition from Arrow Video, The Last Starfighter.
Yep. Yep.
Really, really awesome. Definitely a movie of its time.
Fans have been waiting for years for a remake of that, but it's never gonna
Remake or sequel.
or sequel or whatever. Yeah,
But it would be really cool.
it would.
Now, next to that, we've talked about before about how I have a thing for disaster movies, but I also have a thing for underwater movies. And 1989 was
Yes.
like the king of underwater movies.
Oh.
You had The Abyss, you had Leviathan, you
Yep.
had Deep Star 6.
Deep Star 6.
Well, you also had
Saw
from
them all.
Roger Corman,
Yep.
Lords of the Deep.
Good Lord, I haven't
Which-
seen that movie in
Which
years.
was it was in the theaters for maybe 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and it kind of went like straight to video more or less.
Yep. It
It's
went straight
really-
to VHS.
It was really campy. They did have a DVD release. Well, Arrow decided to come out with a limited edition.
Okay.
Literally, like, we're making 1,500 copies.
Oh,
and,
wow.
and it's available now. So I'm like, you know what? Screw
Yeah.
it. So I went and picked it up, and it's really cheesy.
Was
but
it too expensive, was it?
No.
No. Okay.
But no, and it was worth it. And then Deep Impact, which is a very underrated, apocalyptic
Asteroid.
film.
Right.
Really, really good movie, and collector's edition, great movie.
That was a lot of fun.
And last but certainly not least were some of my more recent pickups. On one side, we had talked about Prey, which I was really happy to be able to pick up in
got
4K.
this one?
Yep, so that one. On the far side is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, funny enough, Marvel was having, an issue is this physical media stuff
Yes.
wasn't selling, I guess, as well for some reason. So you could go into a Best Buy store, you could still get the Ant-Man Quantumania Steelbook with no problem. You can go get, what was the other movie that came out this year? There was another one that you could still walk in and just
Right.
get Thor Love and
Oh,
Thunder
yeah,
from
Love and
like
Thunder, yeah.
that one sold out right away.
Yep.
Very, very hard to find, but still it was a really good movie. And in the middle, The Flash. I liked The Flash.
So did
I
I.
really did.
That's what-
I enjoyed it.
I got
so
my
I ended up picking
Flash
up the
Batman hat.
Steelbook.
Yep.
In fact, I didn't really bring up Dragon Con, and I probably should have, because so I did go to Dragon Con for my second time. Got into a bit of an accident, so it really kind of screwed up my weekend. I got to wear an eye patch if you ever get to see it, but I actually did a couple of panels. I volunteered to do one panel because they were looking for help. I ended up being on 3 panels and moderating 2 of them. One of them was in-depth review of The Flash, and so I was really good. You guys have got to go down there. If we can somehow make an arrangement to get down to go, even if we don't cover it, just to go,
Right.
we really should, because it's incredible. It's an experience, and I think you guys would absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, now that I've been there too, it was earlier in summer. It's so easy to get to the airport, get on the train, take it into downtown. Public transportation there was easy to use,
Yep.
and then downtown it's very small, and I've seen the parade on the videos and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
no,
awesome.
it is definitely an experience.
Yeah.
So
Good. All right. Okay. So if you want to get in touch with us, our website is risfc.org. Our email is risfic.communications@gmail.com. Please write to us. Let us know what's going on. We have Facebook pages for the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club and Sci-Fi Journal. And if you watch us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We appreciate that very much. Next month, we're going to be giving you footage from Rhode Island Comic Con,
Yep,
which should be a lot of fun.
till like 10th anniversary or something more or
I think
less.
it's like the 10th anniversary of Rhode Island Comic Con.
Is it this year? Was it last year? I
don't
forget.
Well, it would have been, but remember they had to cancel.
Because of
Oh, there
COVID.
was one there.
Yeah. So basically
the 10th. Yeah.
Yep.
10th one.
Yep,
So
that
yeah,
should be
it's
a lot
a
of
milestone.
fun. Yeah, we'll have a fan table there as well, which is good. Any shout outs or anything that we got to mention before we go? He's thinking. Uh-oh. Nope. can't.
Oh, so, I'm a member of my fraternity. I'm the alumni president. I have a meeting today. So shout out to my Psi Upsilon brothers. And our Founders Day weekend is the same as the total eclipse in April.
All right.
Which
Next
will-
April, okay.
Yep, next April. April 8th is the total eclipse. It's Monday afternoon. It's passing from the Midwest up through upstate New York to the border of Vermont and Canada. So if you have a chance to go out west, just to upstate New York, you can see the total eclipse, right totality. But here we'll get a partial eclipse here.
Yeah. Good.
No, but it would probably be remiss to figure that we are going into our, let's see, 27th year.
season, yeah.
This is our 27th season. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That is absolutely crazy.
It is crazy, okay. And I want to say hi to all the students and staff over at Garden City Elementary, new school that I started this year. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, you should check it out if you get a chance to go by. I'll give you a tour, let me know. It'll be fun, okay? And because it's November, we have to say Happy Thanksgiving. So if you celebrate with family and friends, have a great Thanksgiving. That's it for this edition of Sci-Fi Journal. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next month. Bye.